This week's US CQM Forecast Alert is aggregated indexes show a more optimistic economic outlook than GDP. Comparing updated actual monthly economic indicators with their ARIMA forecast, it is likely that economic growth rate is revised downward on the expenditure side, while it is revised upward on both the income side and the PCA forecast. Inflation rose from mid-July to late August, but has since settled below 2% since the beginning of September. The Fed was able to reduce the policy interest rate with a focus on the economic growth at the FOMC meeting on September 18. The question was whether the reduction should be 25 basis points or 50 basis points. The economic growth rate on the expenditure side is 1.66%, which is slightly weaker than 2%. However, the average growth rate of both the expenditure and the income side is 2.12%, which is almost the normal growth rate of 2%. In a situation where there are no inflationary concerns, would it be more appropriate for the Fed to cut the policy rate by 25 basis points or 50 basis points? The growth rate of real final sales is expected to be about 2%, almost the same as real GDP. But the growth rate for all real other aggregated indicators are forecasted to be around 3%. Conclusions from this week's US CQM Forecast Alert. The first, a better measure of economic growth rate for 2024 Q3 is approximately 2%. Second, on the other hand, the growth rates of real aggregated indicators other than real final sales are forecasted to be around 3%. The third, inflation stopped rising in September and has stabilized at below 2%. The fourth, at the FOMC meeting, the Fed reduced the policy rate by 50 basis points, but 25 basis points would likely have been sufficient. This slide contains additional information about this week's detailed CQM forecast.